influencers. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Behind the Screen Business Confessions with your girl, Anika Cohen. I am your business strategist coach. And this is the show where we choose to live. We choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious, and enlightened. So I'm super excited to serve you and support you on your journey in the marketplace. This is the show to motivate and support leaders, right? To keep striving and thriving with the vision that God has called you to do, right? And so we choose to live every day with serving our purpose, right? And so today I want to talk about a sensitive topic. I want to talk about when no one shows up. When no one shows up, what do you do? How do you respond in that moment? And I want to talk about that because that is a conversation that is sensitive because leaders, we take that personal. But I want to shift the narrative. I want to begin to challenge you with a different perspective when we talk about no one showing up, right? Because we often internalize that to say, I did something wrong. I am not equipped to carry out this assignment. I am not capable of serving in business. We immediately begin to internalize and make it about us. And I'm here to tell you that it's not even about you. Even in that moment of despair, even in that moment of embarrassment, yes, acknowledge your feelings, have your moment, but choose not to stay there. If you have ever experienced it where you have hosted a live event or a virtual event, right? If you are in the business of serving, providing a space, providing that opportunity to be hands-on with you and your other experts and colleagues in your industry, what do you do when no one shows up? And so I want to talk about it from experience because I have been in that situation on my journey. And I was completely, utterly embarrassed. And here's the thing, nobody knew. Nobody knew that no one showed up, but I knew. And I immediately internalized that with, I did something wrong. I'm not doing it right. I immediately made it about me when it wasn't even about me. This is bigger than me. This is greater than me. And although I may not achieve every goal, I may not achieve the task right at hand, I may not achieve it in this moment, doesn't mean that it won't be done. Come on here, somebody. It doesn't mean that I won't ever accomplish it. It just means I didn't accomplish it today. I didn't accomplish it in that moment. And I want to talk to you about that experience for me and what I learned from that experience, because it's not until we learn from the experience that we are able to get to our next, whatever your next level is, whatever it is that you are in need of, whatever it is that you are seeking after, pursuing after, right? Whatever that looks like for you, in order for you to achieve that, there's a process that you have to go. There's some teachable moments. There's some uncomfortability that is going to show up. And for me, it was when I first got started in business. I am now an author and I have this product, and I decided to take the book on tour. I decided to do some research in regards to my audience, who's engaging with me. So I checked out my analytics and I seen my top 4 cities. So I made a plan. I began to strategically make a plan to show up in each of these cities and not just sell a book, but share the story and the message. So this was an entire one-day event, right? And it about my story, choosing to live, right? Choosing to live. And so we had a great experience. However, at one of the locations, no one registered, not a soul. Not a soul, not one person. And you know, you begin to think like, okay, now I know that I read the data. That was my first thing. I know I read the data. This is not me just going out on a limb. I actually researched. I looked at my numbers. I looked at the data. I took surveys. I was very diligent in doing the work needed to make the arrangements, the preparation to show up in each of these cities. So I was scheduled to go to 3 cities. And one of the cities was in Atlanta, Georgia. And no one registered. No one registered. Not a soul came to this live event. So what I want to plug in right here is that there was expenses already paid, right? There's a venue, there's a catered meal, there's materials, there's product, right? So there's expenses that went into this preparation. So automatically, I'm in the red, because if no one opted into this live event, that means I didn't reap my revenue or profit. Come on here, somebody. So that's real talk. That's real talk. So immediately, no one knew that no one came to this event unless I shared it. So, you know me, I got past my ego. I got past my pride, right? I got past the embarrassment, because I had to quickly check in with Anika and let her know that this too shall pass. God has given you an assignment. He's given you a vision, and you're going to see it all the way through. So even in this, what can I do to maximize and leverage this experience? I decided to record the content and make it into a digital product. Come on here, somebody. I decided to repurpose. Come on here, somebody. Come on here. So when you are at your lowest, when you feel like a failure, when you feel like you've done all that you can do, have your moment, get back up and try again. How can I repurpose? How can I navigate and begin to leverage this experience? What is it that I need to learn in this moment? Not every time am I going to meet the goal, but again, not every time am I going to meet the goal, meaning not this time. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to accomplish it. The goal will be accomplished, because a promise is a promise. God promised me. And he's a God that he shall not lie, nor the son of man that he has to repent. So why am I going to lean to Anika's understanding? No, I'm going to lean to his understanding. And I'm going to trust that he got me right where he wants me. So I begin to shift my mindset, begin to shift the narrative, and I had to speak to myself. I had to speak life. And so I decided to share that experience. I went live. I went live. And I talked about that experience like I'm doing right now. And here is what I find ironic about it all, is that these conversations aren't had enough, because we want to show up as professionals and the experts that we are. However, it doesn't mean that I accomplish every goal when I set it out. Even when I follow the model, even when I follow the method, even when I am strategic and I know what I'm doing, You got to go back and you got to remind yourself that you're meant to be here. I deserve to be here. And so I'm going to go back and track and assess and adjust the data. I'm going to go back and I'm going to see how I can, again, leverage and maximize this experience. And so for me, in that moment, I learned that I could create digital products. I could create digital products, giving individuals the opportunity to still gain valuable content and gain revenue, passive income, right? So I had to shift the narrative. Shift your narrative today. Shift your narrative and choose to live. You're not a failure when you don't meet the goal every time. You just have to recalculate. You just have to re-strategize. You just have to refocus, right? Knowing that it's okay. Because here's the honest truth. You're doing something that a lot of people don't even give themselves permission to do. Saying yes to vision, purpose is no easy task. It takes courage. It takes you willing to do something you've never done before. That's simple. And so you're doing something that a lot of people don't even give themselves permission to do. So for that, yes, you've done a lot. Just with your yes, just with you taking action, just with you taking steps day after day. You putting in the time, the effort, the discipline, yes. The sacrifice, yes. It's not in vain. It's not in vain. You will reap in due time. So choose to live today, King. Choose to live today, Queen. I choose to live. So when no one shows up, you still show up. When no one shows up, you still show up. And you repurpose the content. You re-strategize. And you be intentional about what do you need to learn from that experience? What is that experience teaching you? Because it's giving you insight on your journey. We only fail when we don't learn the lesson. Choose to live and learn on this journey as you grow, as you evolve, and master your skill. So choose to live, influencers. Choose to live. Choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious, and enlightened. Until next time.